Netherlands or the Kingdom of Netherlands is a country located in northwestern Europe, bordering the North Sea. Belgium and Germany. The longer border is shared with Germany. There is also a border shared with France on the Caribbean island of Saint Maarten. The Netherlands has a population of 17 million people. Amsterdam, with a population of 1.2 million, is its capital. Dutch is the official language of Netherlands. Government type is democracy, parliamentary constitutional monarchy. As of 2019, more than 50% of the Dutch declared no religious affiliation. Christianity is only around 39%. Euro is its currency. National Day, 27 April, King's Day, the birthday of the Dutch King Willem-Alexander, who was born on this day in 1967. National symbols: lion, national animal, tulip, national flower, and the national color is orange. National flag, red, white and blue. National anthem:
Het Wilhelmus,
the William. Please note that Netherlands on the European continent is one country of the 4 countries that belong to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. The kingdom consists of these 4 countries: the Netherlands, Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. The latter 3 are all islands in the Caribbean. There are also 3 other islands called Bonaire, Saba, and Saint Eustatius that are located in the Caribbean Netherlands, which are referred to as special municipalities of the Netherlands. Informally, people also call the country Holland, which, however, is not correct, as the Netherlands includes 12 provinces, and 2 of these are called
Noord-Holland,
and
Zuid-Holland,
North and South Holland. The name Netherlands means lowlands, as most of the country is flat land that is located slightly above or at sea level, while about 1/4 of the country is even below sea level. The landscape is thus dominated by flat land and polders, reclaimed land, and there are only some low hills in the southeastern parts of the country. While Amsterdam is the capital city of the Netherlands, although Den Haag, The Hague, is the seat of the Dutch government. Amsterdam is the most populous city with a population of 1.2 million people. Other big cities in the Netherlands are Rotterdam, The Hague, Utrecht, and Eindhoven. About half the country is located only about 1 meter above sea level. All other areas are lower, and 1/4 of the land is below sea level. The Netherlands is one of the Benelux countries, which include Belgium, the Netherlands and Luxembourg. The highest point in the Netherlands is located in the southeast of the country and is called
Vaalserberg,
at the 3-country point in Boven. This point is located at the border to Belgium and Germany and is 322 meters 1,056 feet high. The longest river in the Netherlands is the Rhine. The Rhine River runs through the country over 1,230 kilometers 764 miles. The Lake
IJssel,
also called
IJsselmeer,
is the largest lake in the Netherlands and is an inland bay from the Wadensia of the North Sea, but was closed off by a man-made dike. The continental Netherlands is roughly twice the size as the state of New Jersey in the USA, or about the same size as Switzerland. Amsterdam, the capital city, is known for its many scenic
grachten,
which are canals. Amsterdam has more than 100 kilometers 70 miles of and about 90 islands. The
grachten
are usually not deeper than 2 to 3 meters. And there are over 1,500 bridges throughout the city. The
Rijksmuseum,
National Museum is a top tip to visit and learn about the country's history and arts. Famous works from the Dutch Golden Age are displayed there. This means paintings from the 17th century, from famous Dutch artists such as Rembrandt, Johannes Vermeer and Frans Post, or the typical blue pottery from Delft, or tiny doll houses are exhibited there. Rotterdam is an important port city. The port of Rotterdam is the largest port in Europe. The city was also the main port in the 17th century, from where Dutch explorers and emigrants started their journeys. The Maritime Museum is thus a must-visit when in town. Sadly, most of the historic buildings were destroyed during World War II, but today the city is known as Innovation City due to its modern architecture. Famous landmarks include Erasmus Bridge over the Maas River or the modern
kubuswoningen,
cube houses. Rotterdam's innovative cube houses are tilted at an 45-degree angle. Utrecht is located on the banks of the Rhine River. The picturesque city center houses still many buildings from the Middle Ages. The Dom Tower of the Utrecht is the tallest belfry in the Netherlands with 122.5 meters 368 feet. Utrecht Netherlands Dome Tower is the tallest belfry in the Netherlands. Alkmaar and Gouda are lovely Dutch cities. Their cheese markets are great to visit. There you will be amazed by all the huge wheels of cheese that are carried to the market. In Alkmaar this market happens every Friday, and in Gouda every Thursday in summer. The first historic cheese market was held in Gouda in 1395. Flower bulb region or
Bolle streek.
vast flower fields can be admired in North Holland. The Netherlands are famous for huge tulip fields and picturesque historic Dutch windmills. Tulip blooming season is from mid to end April. Over 1.7 billion tulips are expected to bloom in spring all over the country. The annual flower parade with huge flower floats runs from
Noordwijk
to Haarlem. Famous Dutch people. The Netherlands has a royal family. King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima have 3 daughters. The Dutch national holiday is King's Day, which is celebrated every year on 27 April. Most people in the Netherlands live in a region called
Randstad.
This region includes the 4 cities Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague and Utrecht. The north of the Netherlands, mainly
Friesland
is more rural and less populated than the other regions. Dutch people enjoy the outdoors and many are active players of soccer, field hockey or korfbal, which is similar to netball and basketball. Cycling, running, and swimming are also popular pastimes. In winter people also enjoy ice skating on the frozen canals. It is customary to eat everything on your plate. If you don't, it makes it look like you don't like your food. Dutch people are also quite direct. Before the 13th century, the Netherlands largely existed as mud flats, salt marsh, flood banks, brackish lakes and tidal flats with here and there small hills on which people lived. Because it was so desolate, the Netherlands was not interesting for kings, queens, princes, or princesses, and there were no large cities. The people were free to begin reclaiming land by building dikes. Because there were no machines, people had to dig these dikes by hand. This is how land reclamation started. Imagine that it took up to 15 years to dig the dikes and reclaim and desalt the land. In order to build the dikes, the people had to work together. They had to cooperate with each other and form a consensus to finish the job. At the same time, they were responsible for their own work and for their own land that they reclaimed. This fostered a high degree of personal autonomy. The Dutch language is a Germanic language and became a language distinct of German around 800 AD. The Netherlands constitutes the 6th largest economy in Europe, and the country is part of the Eurozone. The natural resources of the Netherlands include natural gas, petroleum, limestone, and peat, as well as sand and salt. Dairy products, meats and vegetables are among the main agricultural products. The Netherlands' main trading partners are Germany, Belgium, France and the UK, as well as China and the USA. The main export products of the Netherlands are machinery, chemicals, fuels and foodstuff. The Netherlands are also the world's biggest exporter of flower bouquets. The Dutch cuisine is known for fresh and regional food, fish and seafood and cheeses.
Bitterballen.
These small round fried meatballs are a popular snack. The meatballs are much lighter than regular meatballs as they have a velvety smooth meat filling under the fried crust. Pea soup, thick deep green pea stew, is usually made from split peas.
Stampot.
Potato mash mixed with shredded greens such as kale, spinach or cabbage. This mash is usually served with smoked sausages, rookworst.
Poffertjes.
Dutch pancakes are thick and small round mounds. They are made with a yeast batter and usually served simply dusted with icing sugar or with syrup.
Stroopwafel.
Wafers with caramel and syrup. The name means syrup waffle, and this is a very tasty sweet treat.
Pepernoten.
These small honey and anise cookies, or peppernuts, are typical biscuits eaten on
Sinterklaas.
Santa Claus celebrations on 5 December. They are similar to gingerbread cookies, but have a distinct licorice flavor. Port of Rotterdam is the largest port in Europe and the 2nd largest in the world. Between 1962 and 2004, it was also the world's busiest port. Shanghai, China has the biggest port in the world. The Netherlands remained neutral in the World War I, but was invaded and occupied by Germany in the World War II. After World War II, some 500,000 Dutch left the country in search of better opportunities. It is the world's first country to legalize same-sex marriage in 2001. The Netherlands is also the birthplace of Wim Hof, also known as the Iceman. It is also a founding member of the EU, NATO, OECD, WTO, and also a part of Schengen area. The Hague is dubbed as the world's legal capital because it has Europol, Eurojust, and UN detention unit. The Netherlands is an undisputed world leader in water management. They are home to world's 10 best engineering firms for water project management. After the US, the country is an ideal place to cycle as it is mostly flat. It is also known as the bicycle capital of the world because it has more bikes than people. The country is expected to have 18 million bicycles and a population of 17 million. The Netherlands is generally a liberal and one of the most progressive countries in the world. Abortion, prostitution, and euthanasia are all legal in the country. The Dutch prostitutes pay taxes to the government. The biggest international airport in the Netherlands is the Schiphol Airport. It is 4 meters below sea level. Vincent van Gogh was a famous Dutch painter. There is a museum in Amsterdam dedicated to this famous painter. The museum has a collection of over 200 paintings, 500 drawings, and 750 written documents. The museum is visited by some 1.5 million visitors each year. The most important sectors of the Netherlands include public administration, education, defense, human health, social work activities, wholesale and retail trade, transport, accommodation and food services, and industries. The Dutch are the tallest men in the world with an average height of 183 centimeters. The Dutch women, on the other hand, are on an average 171 centimeters tall. The Netherlands has the highest English proficiency in the world. 9 out of every 10 people in the country speak English as a second language. It is also one of the top countries in the world for kids to learn a new language at school. The Netherlands is the world's leading tulip exporter. Tulips are not native to the Netherlands and were imported from Turkey in the 16th century.
Zuidplaspolder
Is the lowest point in the country. It is 7 meters below sea level. The point, along with Lemefjord in Denmark, is the lowest point of Western Europe and the European Union. The Netherlands is also the world's second biggest exporter of beer. In France, Germany, the Netherlands they serve beer and McDonald's. On average, the Dutch cycle 1,000 kilometers during a year. The teenager in the country cycled 2,000 kilometers per year. There are 16 bike shops per 100,000 inhabitants in the Netherlands. Cycling while being drunk is illegal in the country, and interestingly, the country also has the lowest rate of serious injury per million kilometers cycled. Almost 20% of the babies are born in the home in the Netherlands. The people of the country cherish the act and do not unnecessarily hoard hospitals when the occasion comes. The Dutch are also the proud producers of orange carrots for the first time in the world. CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray all originated in the Netherlands. Amsterdam has the world's oldest stock exchange. The Dutch East India Company is the first truly multinational company in the world. It issued stocks in 1602 and became the first company to do so. The first compound microscope was built in the Netherlands. The microscope was invented in the Netherlands in the 16th century. Amsterdam is almost completely built on poles that are buried almost 12 meters into the layer of fen and clay. Amsterdam has 1281 bridges. Amsterdam is also Europe's 5th busiest travel destination, handling over 4.2 million travelers every year. Amsterdam is home to Europe's only addiction clinic where treatment for gambling, video gaming, and substance addiction is done. Despite the high population in the country, high-rise buildings are not so common. The Dutch are also the most physically active people in the world. More than 50% of the population involves in some sport every week at least once. Dutch licorice cubes, called
Griotte.
The Netherlands is also the largest consumer of licorice in the world. The country is also fortunate to have the lowest incidence of lactose intolerance in the world. Only 1% of its population is affected by it. There are 20 national parks in the Netherlands. More than 1,000 traditional windmills are still operational in the country. The second Saturday and Sunday in May is National Mill Day in the Netherlands. KLM is a world's leading airlines which has Dutch roots. It started in 1919 and is also the oldest national airline in the world. 70% of the bacons come from the Netherlands. Frisian is the only regional language which is also among the official languages of the country. Rhine, Meuse, and Scheldt are the three main rivers that cross the Netherlands before reaching the sea. Some of the big Dutch companies include Shell, Unilever, Philips, Egon, Ing, Heineken. The Dutch, after the Scandinavian, drink the most coffee per person per year in the world, almost 140 liters. The village of
Giethoorn
in the Netherlands has no roads. There are just canals that are used for transportation. The village is also known as the Venice of the Netherlands. The soft drug policy in the Netherlands allows coffee shops to sell drugs that are permitted by the authorities, but in limited quantities.